morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. The glasses and the hat are not for fashion people, I promise. It is boiling out here. As you guys know, I'm in Miami for the Club World Cup. We're gonna get to that in a second. It's fantastic to be out here. Normally when I do videos abroad, so when I'm not in my studio back home, I'm normally doing them in my hotel room, but I was like, nah, we need to get outside. Like, the weather here is incredible. It gives you guys, I guess, a different type of look, right? I don't know if I'm supposed to film here. This is like an exclusive boutique hotel. It's owned by the owner of the Zone. So that is Solen Blablatnik. He's put us up here. I'm here with Christian Vieri. Yesterday, I went to the FIFA hotel to interview the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. Who was there? I met Arsene Wenger, Zanetti, Del Piero, Maxi Rodriguez, for you Liverpool fans. Pepe was there as well. It was surreal, honestly surreal. I'm seeing all these superstars that I've been watching for years just walk past me. The kid in me was like, ask for an autograph, get a football, let them sign it, but I had to be professional. So yeah, I arrived 2 days ago. I've got a rehearsal this evening and then showtime tomorrow, So I'm presenting the show. Christian Vieri is my guest, as well as Sami Khedira, former German international. I think Beckham's coming over. I think Ronaldo, R9 is coming over. I think we're gonna get Messi before the game. I mean, come on, what the fuck is going on? I don't know if I'm supposed to film here, by the way. A few people are walking past, like in front of me there, and giving me like the dirty eyes, but we're gonna film until they tell us not to film. So yeah, look, very excited to be here. Apologies, Ade Gman wasn't able to do it. I've just, my schedule here is a bit weird. Like, I don't know what I'm doing until like 5 minutes before I do it. So it was gonna be impossible to film Ade and Gman. It's the first one we've missed. Apologies. We are back together next week. I announced the sponsor that I've been talking about for ages next week as well. That's now signed and sealed. I can't wait to get going with that. I saw all the feedback for my look back with Darren Barker. I think it's harsh. I think Darren Barker's fantastic, but I'm always someone that listens to you guys. You guys have been on the journey with me for so long, and I do listen. So we'll, change things up next time. But don't be so harsh on Darren Barker. Darren Barker, I think, is one of the best commentators, presenters out there. He's a former world champion, and it was good to get a take from a former boxer. Like, me and G-Man have never laced up the gloves like that, so it was nice to hear how a former boxer looks when he's watching a fight as well. So stop being so harsh, people. All right, should we get into it? I've got the laptop here that I hope doesn't die because it is so hot. I'm not joking, I'm touching it and it's hot. So let's crack on very quickly. Why Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford matters more now? Does it? Not sure. I mean, look, it's an enormous fight. By the way, if Crawford wins, we're talking a free weight, undisputed champion. I mean, if he wins, and I think he will win, by the way, there needs to be a conversation afterwards where he ranks as an all-time great. I still think the resume, and if Crawford watches this, he's going to come for my head. I still think the resume isn't that thick. I honestly don't think it is. But a free weight, undisputed world champion, unbeaten, I mean, it's a joke. Honestly, it's a joke. Look, it's a big fight. I know it's been sort of pushed as the fight of the century, fight of the decade. I mean, we can discuss that after the fight. And I think those are conversations for after the fight, but it is a massive fight. There's no two ways about it. Like, it being on Netflix, I obviously don't think I'm going to be working on it, which is very disappointing, but I will go there as a fan. I think me and a few people have decided we are going to fly out because it's going to be just incredible. I look forward to seeing what the undercard's going to be. I think there needs to be a push for Carlos Adames versus Alan Canali. That has to happen. Let's see who the number one is at 160. And that's the kind of fight where both of those guys would want pay-per-view money. It's not a pay-per-view fight. So maybe there is a way that both of them get paid if it's on the undercard of this. Chief support. I would be very happy if that's chief support, because that fight, ladies and gentlemen, will deliver. And Turkey's spoken a lot recently about only wanting to put fighters in the ring that don't run. These guys don't run. I think that needs to be discussed, by the way, because I don't know if that's a dig at Devin Haney. A lot of people are talking about it as a dig at Devin Haney. I don't know. It's not always about sort of rock 'em, sock 'em. There is a skill to fighting on the back foot and evading your fighters. Yes, you want to see fighters throw more punches, but let's not diss and diminish the fighters that are very skillful and like to hit and not get hit. I think there's something in that. Moses ITAUMA to take on DILLIAN WHYTE August 16th from Riyadh. Yeah, that's now done and confirmed. I hope the mic's working, by the way, Jesus. Yeah, that's now done and confirmed. We knew that, right? I did a video about it a couple of days ago. Mosa ITAUMA headlining. This is it, right? This is his first headline event. It's a big one. It's a pay-per-view card as well. This is a big push. This is it now, isn't it? This is the Moses ITAUMA push. And I think we're going to see the rise and superstardom of Moses ITAUMA just go from here to here in the next 12 to 18 months. I expect him to beat DILLIAN WHYTE, and I expect him to look incredible. That being said, and I've said this so many times, I'm going to say it again, we haven't seen him get cracked on the chin by a puncher. We haven't. DILLIAN WHYTE can punch. That DILLIAN WHYTE left hook, when he corks it and puts all of his body into it, good luck. I mean, obviously this is a long time ago, but it took Chisora's head off. We saw what it did to AJ. We saw what it did to Lucas Brown. It hurt Joseph Parker numerous times as well. But that's a long time ago. DILLIAN WHYTE's now 37 and he's been very inactive. Moses ITAUMA is 20 and he's like, honestly, I feel like I'm talking to a grown man when I'm talking to him. So, yeah, look, let's see. Let's see how it plays out. The most intriguing thing on that card, because we knew about Nick Ball versus Sam Goodman, we knew about Anthony Kakache versus Raymond Ford. Nobody knew about David Adeleye, Filip HRGOVIC. Like, where has that come from? That's an incredible matchup. Like, and that's a big step up for Adelaide. I mean, Adelaide was going to fight Jimmy TKV. The British Boxing Board of Control released their fights, and it was there. I saw it, I read it. And now all of a sudden there's been a big U-turn, and Adeleye is taking on HRGOVIC. I mean, that does surprise me. Again, it is a step up. Sorry, this lady is dragging these chairs. I mean, she's doing her job, I'm not having a go at her. I shouldn't be out here filming, right? But yeah, that's a big step up for Adelaide. I think HRGOVIC, we saw against Joe Joyce, is still very much there. That Joe Joyce fight was short notice. August 16th is now, what, 8-9 weeks away. So he's got time to get in real good shape. This is a big step up. This is Adelaide's way of entering the big boys. Like, this is it now, this is it. If he can ice HRGOVIC, then Adelaide's right there. He's right there. This is a harder fight. When you look at how much we view Moses ITAUMA, right? I think we have ITAUMA there, right? And no disrespect, I think we've got Adelaide there. I mean, Adelaide is taking on the harder task, August 16th. There's no two ways about it. HRGOVIC is harder than DILLIAN WHYTE. So credit to Adelaide, credit for him and his team. Obviously now trained by Adam Booth for saying, yeah, we're ready for it. He's gonna need to look a lot better than he did against Jimmy TKV, a lot better. You have to make HRGOVIC favourite in that one, but good luck to Adelaide. I think he's got a chance, but it's a slim one. I think HRGOVIC is still very much there. One thing about HRGOVIC is his gas tank is just pathetic. It really isn't great. Maybe training with Abel Sanchez and Big Bear might improve that. So if I'm Adelaide, who I think is a bit of a slow starter, you've got to push the pace. You've really got to push the pace on HRGOVIC, because HRGOVIC will be blown out of his arse. And we saw that against Joyce, and we saw that against Dubois, second half of the fight. But you've got to do some damage in the first half. So this isn't a case of, let's take it easy and try and eke out a points victory. No, you've got to put it on him from the very, very get-go. And let's see what happens. Richardson, Hitchens, George Cambosus Jr. Talk and tangle at the presser. Yeah, it's getting a bit heated between those two. I love George Cambosus. I love the way he talks. I love everything about him. This is a guy that talks the talk and walks the walk. Like, say what you want about the defeats, he's fighting these guys. He's fighting Devin Haney. Might have been the best Devin Haney. He's fighting Loma. He's fighting Tio. I mean, you can go back further. He's fighting Mickey Bay. He's fighting Selby. Like, he's fighting guys. He's fighting guys. And yes, he's probably losing more than he's winning in those big fights, but he's still fighting. Hitchens ain't really a puncher. So if this comes to a boxing match, I mean, you've got to give Cambosus a chance here. A slim one, but you got to give him a chance. Cambosus is a good boxer. My fear for Cambosus is he didn't look great in his last fight. He's not a 140 guy. I even thought, I'm not joking, I did, obviously the look back, Tio versus Cambosus, I thought he looked undersized at 135, let alone 140. So, look, Hitchens is fresh. Hitchens, the world champion who beat Liam Parrow, which was to some sort of an upset. So Hitchens is the favourite, but Cambosus, we know, will be there. And you've got to be good to beat Cambosus. Again, you've got to be Loma, you've got to be Devin Haney. So, look, let's see. Let's see what is left with George Cambosus. I feel not much. I felt like Maxie Hughes beat him, and that was my indication that Cambosus at the top level is done. But you never know, right? You never know what can happen. All right, let's have a look and see if there's anything else. Dave Allen, I just want people to remember me as a good fighter. Yeah, I still think there's work to be done to get that recognition from people. I think if they match him correctly, there are still some good fights for him to get that. I would like to see him, I wanted to see him in against David Adeleye, or the winner of David Adeleye versus Jimmy Takevich. Obviously, Adeleye is going a different route, so I'm not quite sure what they do. Obviously, there's been crazy talk about Deontay Wilder. That's not going to happen. Deontay Wilder's not fighting Dave Allen. He's not. That being said, I spoke to Eddie about this the other day. Dave Allen is quite tricky. He's got a chin. When he's motivated, he can put them together. I think we saw that against Johnny Fisher. I like the team he's got right now as well. I think that's smart. That Nigel Travis and Jamie Moore, they seem to have got him working. So I feel like there's something there, but I'm not quite sure the level of where he's at. Like, I'm trying to think of a good matchup. I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, that's why I say Adelaide was perfect. Don't know. I'm not sure. There are good fights out there for him. I do think his next fight, because of the way in which he carried himself in the promotion for the Johnny Fisher fight and the way in which he delivered, I actually think there is now, all of a sudden, a want to see him fight. So I do think if he goes and fights anywhere in and around sort of Sheffield or whatever, I do think people are going to, Doncaster, I think people are going to want to go and see him fight. So yeah, be interesting to see the next move they do with him. What else we got? There's a lot of talk about this Adam Macka. He was on Ariel Helwani's show with Sam Jones. World Championship gold medalist, I believe. I don't know if it's World Championship youth gold medalist, I'm not quite sure. But regardless, I mean, he's a world champion, right, as an amateur. He talks the talk, he does. I mean, on that show with Ariel, it was like, I think Ariel said something like about Inoue, and he's like, I'll fight Inoue now and I'll beat him. I was like, okay, enough. You gotta love the confidence, but let's chill. Undercard for Usyk Dubois got a bit thicker. Lawrence Okoli taking on Kevin Lerena. Daniel Lapin, who's part of the Usyk team, taking on Louis Edmondson. Okay, let's get in there. You know, the closer this fight gets, the more people are thinking Dubois is going to win. Like, there's something sort of in the stars. I don't know. I'll give him a great chance. I really do. I just think age is a good equaliser here. 38 is 38. 38 is old. 38 is old. Saying a man who's 44. But 38 for a fighter is old. 26, 27 is peak. So Usyk is right at the end of his career. Daniel Dubois, in terms of age, is right at the peak of his career. That has to mean something. The experience of having gone to Poland, having beaten AJ, having beaten HRGOVIC, having beaten Jarrell Miller, has to count for something. Like, that experience that he's now got, Don Charles, I mean, he's a heavyweight world champion. He's 100% the number 2 heavyweight in the world. That has to mean something. I mean, what was he going into the first fight of Usyk? Was he even a top 10 guy? He wasn't a champion. He was called a quitter. All those things are done. So look, I give him a great chance. That being said, Usyk in 10. Usyk in 10, blood. Usyk, once he puts that shit together, Usyk in 10. That's what I'm thinking. But you never know, you never know. You know, finally, let's wrap on this. Wait, what's this? Ike Akabuchi. is going to fight Danny Williams on or before July 5th. Stop. Please stop. World governing body, stop this. Stop this. It's a disgrace. Very quickly, as we wrap, as my laptop is about to die, if Crawford versus Canelo was on pay-per-view, how many pay-per-view buys do you think it does? I'm going to put this on my Twitter. How many pay-per-views do you think it does? I would say it does 1 million. Nothing crazier than that. I think people now with their bloody fire sticks and people stealing these things, I'd say 1 million, which is an incredible number. On Netflix, I think it does about 3 to 4 million. It's crazy, you know, like both of these guys they're massive names in the boxing circles. And I guess Canelo is as well, from a sporting perspective. Crawford isn't. Crawford's big, but he's not as big as maybe we think outside of the boxing world. Like, you've got to speak to sports fans and ask the question, and they will give you the honest answer. Crawford's big, but he's not as big as maybe we think. But he's big nonetheless, he's a superstar, right? Anyway, guys, girls, we are done. Thank you very, very much. People are giving me funny looks that way. So I need to shut this camera down. But look, I will do more videos. Thank you for always supporting me, your boy, and I'll see you in the next one.